In the seaside town of Karaikkal, centuries ago, lived a woman named Punidavadi. Beautiful and virtuous, she was the pride of her family and the envy of many. Married to a wealthy merchant, Paramdattan, her life seemed perfect on the surface, but beneath that facade lay a different truth. One day, as fate would have it, a weary traveler knocked at her door, hunger etched on his face. Without hesitation, Punidavadi offered him one of two precious mangoes her husband had entrusted to her, an act of kindness that would change her life forever. When Parmadattan returned, his voice turned, demanding both mangoes. Punidavadi's heart raced. Fear gripped her, not a gentle worry, but a deep primal dread. She knew her husband's temper, how he could erupt over the smallest issue. As Parmadattan's face darkened, Punidavadi felt her fear intensify, but instead of crumbling, something extraordinary happened. This fear became a catalyst, driving her deeper into prayer. It pushed her to connect with Lord Shiva with an intensity she had never known before. Her prayer wasn't born of desperation, but of a profound fear-induced focus. Every fiber of her being reached out to Lord Shiva in this moment of deepest connection. Driven by fear yet transcending it, Punidavadi's prayer manifested. And there in her trembling hand appeared a mango. Not just any mango, but one more beautiful, more fragrant than any earthly fruit, a divine answer to a prayer of unprecedented intensity. But this miracle, instead of bringing joy, planted seeds of fear in Parmadattan's heart. Days passed and Punidavadi's world shattered as she discovered a bitter truth. Her husband, overwhelmed by her divine connection, had fled, not to contemplate this miracle but to the arms of another woman. Betrayed, abandoned, devastated, Punidavadi's heart broke, but her spirit ignited. In her anguish, she turned once more to Lord Shiva, crying out, "My Lord, this beauty, this flesh, it means nothing. Take it all." But Punidavadi's heart was not just broken, it was totally crumbled. And in that moment, it was broken into pieces, and out of that broken pieces, her devotion deepened. She realized that the world and its attachments were not for her. With a heart full of anger and broken heart, actually, she prayed to Lord Shiva, asking him to free her from the burdens of worldly beauty and desires, because she knew nothing is permanent. She wandered through forests singing hymns and praises of Lord Shiva, spreading the message of devotion. Her songs filled with love and mysticism echoed through the ages. She became one of the greatest Tamil poets and saints. This was later, but during that time, she was just madly roaming around, wandering around the forest, singing hymns and poems. Her verses capturing the power and beauty of Shiva's cosmic dance, the Rudra Tandava. You can imagine why she connected with that, because anger filled her, Punidavadi's flesh withered, her hair fell out, her body became skeletal. She didn't eat for ages, but her eyes blazed with divine love. But even though the body was deteriorating, her energies were evolving. She was glowing in the other realm, but bodily she was deteriorating. And no longer Punidavadi, she became Karaikkal Ammaiyar, the revered mother of Karaikkal. Everyone started, when they saw this spiritual evolution, they started calling her Karaikkal Ammaiyar. Her poetry, born from pain and devotions, set South India's heart aflame. from betrayed wife to skeletal saint, from abandoned woman to revered poet. Karaikkal Ammaiyar's transformation reminds us that true beauty lies not in the flesh, but in the unshakable devotion of the heart, or you can say the spiritual evolution. And even our deepest wounds can become well springs of profound spiritual awakening. In the streets of Karaikkal, her story still echoes, a testament to the power of faith, the strength of a woman's spirit, and the eternal love of the divine. Karaikkal Ammaiyar's devotion knew no bounds. Her love for Lord Shiva drove her to embark on an extraordinary pilgrimage to Mount Kailash. Can you believe? The sacred abode of Shiva. She traveled. And once she landed on Mount Kailash, her devotion was such that she didn't want to keep her foot there. So she walked on her hands. Just imagine it, a skeletal figure moving across the harsh landscape, her palms pressed against the earth, her legs pointed skyward. Each movement an act of devotion, each inch gained a testament of her faith. Over rugged terrain, through biting winds and scorching suns, Karaikkal Ammaiyar persevered, her journey arduous and unimaginable, but she became a legend. When she finally reached the foot of Mount Kailash, Lord Shiva himself is said to have welcomed her, addressing her as Amma. This remarkable pilgrimage, defying human limitations, stands as a powerful symbol of Karaikkal Ammaiyar's absolute surrender to the divine. It elevates her story from one of personal transformation to an epic tale of superhuman devotion and spiritual triumph. And also, I would like to add something here, that when we talk about spiritual journey, there is a physical journey as well. Enlightenment may come through intense devotion and disregard for the physical form, as it did for her when she shed her worldly beauty, or as it did for or Patanjali. But true liberation, that's a deeper, more complex journey. We cannot escape the totality of our human experience. Our karma, our past actions, our very essence, these are not so easily left behind. For liberation, complete and final demands we face every aspect of our being. The physical, the mental, the emotional, all must be acknowledged, processed, released. We must squander every lost residue of our earthly attachments and karmic debts. This is a hidden lesson in Karaikkal Ammaiyar's story. Enlightenment may come in a flash of divine grace, but liberation is earned through the totality of our lived experience. To transcend the human condition, we must first fully embrace it. To rise above our karma, we must first move through it. Only then can we hope to achieve true, complete liberation. Well, this is me signing off, your host Bharti Bhaskaran. You can add your thoughts to it. Thank you so much.